we see a third command center, excuse me, come down here for Maru, and Classic actually going right into the Stargate, following up that Robo, so no Twilight Council opening from him.
So the poke is going to come out here from the Terran. It's an early third command, Nexus here. And with this poke, I mean, you got to imagine Classic could be pretty vulnerable here. The Sentry's out. I don't know if it quite has the energy to use any spells here. The Reaper barely gets away. This control is insane here from Maru. What?
Oh, wow.
This is the greatest control I've ever seen.
Yeah, that Reaper just barely survived.
What?
Oh, the Stalker goes down, too. There's no shield battery here at the natural.
I can't believe how good Maru's control. This is wild.
I mean, the Cyclone's even packing less a punch because it doesn't have that same stutter step, but Maru just doesn't. It doesn't matter, man. He gets 5 probes. He gets a Sentry. He trades out the Reaper and a couple Marines.
That might have been the best control I've seen in the last couple seasons of GSL. Seriously, that was crazy how good that was.
Yeah, that was
there
insane
were so
value.
many things that were low on HP. Yeah, things are going to slow down a little bit. Now let's keep in mind, Classic. He took a little bit of a beating back there, but it wasn't like his third base was denied. He's still developing normally. The Colossi is going to come out here. Thermal Lance has just started. So by the second Colossus coming out, he should have that done.
We have a second Stargate and a Fleet Beacon going down right now for Classic. He might be going into carriers here. Off of 3 bases. This is some really tech-heavy play coming out from Classic. The scan comes through from Maru, and that looks about as normal as it gets right there at the third base. He sees double Colossus, a ton of gateway units. Maru is still not keyed in that Classic is going for this really high-tech switch.
Yeah, and this means Classic is just not going to be attacking for a long time. It's going to be a game where Maru is going to have to start to try to end the game. With Classic, the longer the game goes on, the more the air tech inevitability is going to be real. Getting air weapons now, getting 2 Tempests.
And it's Tempest with +1 air weapons. I love this actually because the Oracle is still alive. It's gotten another 2 kills. Being able to pair that with Revelation means that Classic can pick off Vikings. If he gets, I think it's 5 Tempest with +1, I believe, should be able to one-shot a Viking.
I think that's right.
I might be wrong about that. It's been a while since I've made Tempest in PvT. But yeah, this is a very cool play coming out from Classic, is now the Widowmine drop is coming in. No drilling claws, so even with an armory, if there is one done, these will not be
And by the way,
revealed.
you can see the new feature on the Widowmine. It's just a lot more clear where that's going, which I think is nice. Just kind of a quality of life improvement there.
I feel like it looks good, too. I mean, the Widowmine's, it's a scary shot, man. That thing can do a lot of damage. I feel like the laser looks appropriately scary now.
Yeah.
Before it was this feeble, meek little, like, it looked like a shoestring or something that was just stretched across the map, but no, I like it. This is an awesome style from Classic.
We've got more Tempests coming along here.
And carriers, too. His gateway army is basically non-existent. It's 4 Zealots, a Sentry, and a Stalker, I think. And the rest just Colossus, Tempest, and carriers.
So we've got the Ghost now. Viking production started up. And 6 o'clock is now being occupied here for the Terran. Now, there's a lot more map to be expanded to here. But we are getting to the point in time where they should start to attack into each other. I don't know who's supposed to attack who here. Do you? I'm not sure when the game gets this far along.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Classic is going to be the faster one to max out, but
usually it's like there's one guy, who's on the receiving end, the other guy's, trying to push it and do damage. Seems like Maru's going to move out here.
I mean, both players have just been so focused on the macro. Maru's throwing down additional command centers, +3 infantry weapons will soon be completed. He's got 15 Vikings in total. He's making Vikings 6 at a time, by the way, which is just absurd. How many Vikings are in production? But with Revelation, if Classic can play this, or get some kiting done on those Vikings early, he does have some time before Maru is actually able to close the distance onto that third base. And you see Maru is actually going to try and creep forward a little bit here with the missile turrets. But the bio ball on the ground it's quite small. Here we go. Those Tempests going to take some shots. Instantly, one Viking goes down. EMP on the front line of the army here of Classic. That Oracle a little bit mismicroed. The carrier is going to fall, but overall, I think these trades not that bad here for Classic. Those Vikings are very weak.
Yeah, he does clip off a couple of those units there with those Viking shots. I don't know if Maru can advance in here or not. It's kind of hard to move into both Tempests and Disruptors.
I love this sensor tower, by the way.
Yeah.
Just right in the face.
This is kind of cool. And by the way, like, very fresh. Sensor tower with a whole layer of turrets. And so he wants to basically get this hard contain and kind of launching pad for attack set up. This might force Classic out here. Disruptor shot, bit of a dud there. He does take out the gold base. Now, Maru's got his own gold base. So once you've filled in your triangular like sliver of the map, that's when the gold bases become pretty tempting. And so on some level, I almost feel like Maru doesn't have to do much other than occupy this spot. He's got plenty of SCVs, so he can make turrets and repair the Vikings. Now, Protoss does have shield batteries, but you know, there's more you could stretch out with SCVs repairing over time than, you know, shield batteries recharging. He's going to move in. This is a bit of a dive.
And Classic linking back here into the shield batteries. I feel like he really needs to rebuild that Oracle. Okay, one just popped, but Revelation right here with the Tempest, that is the combination that you need to start chipping away at the missile turrets. Classic just wants to continue to chip away at this, try and get some feedbacks off, some storms here with the Templar. EMP comes through, so not able to get too much done. Tempest actually does fall here too. The Viking, that storm just to try and shoo Maru back into the center of the map. But Classic, that mineral bank is starting to get really big. I wouldn't mind seeing him throw down maybe 5 or 6 additional gateways and just do a big tech switch after the fight. Just instantly remax and move cross map.
Right. Nukes, of course.
Mm-hmm. Great way to eventually break this position.
This is probably a great way to kind of force an engagement here.
Oh, that disruptor shot.
Oh, hold on.
Does get taken out. Now these trades have been so good for Maru.
Oh my God, they're literally one-shotting carriers.
Wow.
I don't know when I've seen carriers be one-shotted. I guess I'll have to tick that one off my caster bucket list.
Yeah.
He just shot down 4 or 5 carriers like that. Now notice it suddenly, you know, Classic was banking a lot and just dropped as he had to remake a bunch. But this is basically the pressure point. Right outside here, he can keep attacking it. Maru's still growing. Maru has considerably more of the map.
And he's continuously repairing these Vikings as well. Classic needs to do a little bit of a better job with Revelation, just trying to pick away at this Viking count, because in a head-on engagement, it's kind of like Zerg fighting into Corruptors. If they don't have a lot of static defense, if they don't have Archons on the ground, the Vikings are eventually going to win. You have to be able to finesse them with the Tempest at range and do it well if you want to take a favorable trade here as Classic. And up until this point, he has been doing all right, but Maru is not making it easy for him. He has Liberators set up. He has all those turrets plus double sensor tower. And from that staging ground in the center map, he's just trying to apply a little bit of pressure here on these side bases. I think he can even let Classic have that expansion on the right. If he can prevent Classic from taking the 2 top left expansions, then he's basically doing his job.
Yeah, this is all he has to do, is basically contain him. Psystorm, I thought that actually the Ghost, excuse me, it did not.
Oh, you see this, right,
Dude,
Classic?
he's got to get out. Yeah, you need to.
You see this, right,
what?
Classic? I was going to say, is this Solar in the booth right now? What's going on?
That's all he has to do is poke out those bases. He doesn't have to actually come in there and like destroy the main or the infrastructure. I mean, I do think it would help Maru if he was maybe hitting one other place at a time. But yeah, he could basically roost out here. Nice feedbacks there on the Ghosts. He's once again just going to be annihilating these carriers. I've never really seen this many SCVs just roaming with the army, but it kind of works.
Well, usually you see Terran players kind of sack the SCVs and go to mules. Oh, those SCVs getting stormed, by the way. But you'll see Terran players just shed off the SCVs, maybe do a mild SCV pull in the late game, just to have more army supply. But with the SCVs in the front line like this, in this specific situation where they're building turrets and they're repairing Vikings, they basically are army supply. You know, that's how you repair all of the Vikings there in the front line. So it's a cool style to see here from Maru. Definitely something a little bit fresh coming in, as Classic hasn't been able to get very much value. And Maru again canceling these top left bases. Unless Classic can kind of break out of this position, I don't really see a path to victory unless Maru completely fumbles an engagement and Classic can get some big counter damage done with a Remax, because so far the cost efficiency has been pretty even, I want to say. Classic does have the better bank because, I mean, partly because Maru has all of these SCVs repairing in the middle of the map and building static defense, but eventually Classic will run out of money.
Yeah, that's right.
It almost feels like casting a TVZ.
Squeeze. Yeah,
doesn't it?
It does. I was just thinking that. I'm like, how funny. This is sizing up just like a ZVT here. Now, yeah, like we were saying, this is a squeeze. It's going to be a squeeze where the Protoss is still on 5 or 6 bases, but long term he will run out of money. Is this nuke going to connect? Where's the observer? Is there an observer?
I think it's got picked. Does he not see this one?
No way!
Okay, it's going to fall on everything! The Gateway Army gets evaporated. Maru stims forward.
My God.
Wow. What is with Maru and just getting nuke connection after nuke connection every year, man? I mean, that is just the end of this game. GG. It's going to be a Stargate opening here again for Classic, this time before the Robo, so perhaps we'll see the Oracle again. I think more likely we'll see him play a bit more Phoenix heavy than we saw in the previous game. And Classic actually caught a little bit off guard. Those two Phoenix are not home.
Yeah, let's not forget how well Maru did last time with his initial push. Let's see what he can do this time around.
It is so brave of Classic to actually come all the way cross map with these Phoenix, by the way, with
no
all
kidding.
that Terran right in front of his natural.
Yeah, after he sees the after he sees the 2 Cyclones and the Marines in the medevac, he's staying back. Once the Immortal's out, you really can't do much with this. But I think the truth is that Maru probably isn't intending to do that much with this. Now, he could maybe poke out the Nexus. Yeah, he's going to force a cancel. Keep in mind the 3rd command center, it's almost done. And so he's just going to have a 3rd base up a little bit sooner. Now, again, wait. Is he going to get away? All right.
Coming again. Phoenix coming back. Will lift up that Widow Mine.
Big pickup there. He's going to have to probably just medevac boost away. I think the Cyclones could just outrun him. He doesn't actually have blink or anything, so he will get away. But most importantly, this 3rd command center's done. SCVs and mules are mining from it. The Nexus has just started. So we got more gateways coming down.
Yeah, gateways charge +1 and a 2nd forge here for Classic. So I feel like we're playing a little bit more of a gateway style for Classic than we did in the previous game. And yeah, actually 5 gateways in total in production. He just threw a couple more down. We might see Classic gunning for a really big timing here with 1-1. I'm curious now how many gases he's going to take, because you might, as Classic, just sit on 4 gases like this, get out 1 or 2 more Colossus, spend the rest of the gas here on just upgrades, and have a huge flood of Zealots coming in.
Well, I mean, I think he wants a different approach, right? He doesn't want to sit back and try to attack into Stargates. I think he wants to try to do something a little bit more active and put Maru on his back foot. He's getting a Dark Shrine as well.
And Warp Prism speed. Oh, this is a cool style, but Maru, he's been able to muster an army. +1 infantry weapons is done. Concussive, stim, combat shields, all researched. So Maru has been lining up for this timing for quite a while. And those Ravens very high on energy. Interference Matrix could shut down those Colossi. Stim coming in. Colossi immediately disabled there in the front. Only 1 sentry, so just a couple of force fields going down. Every single Colossus is disabled. No shield battery here at the 3rd base. Maru, he's trying to stim forward and snipe the Colossi. Hasn't been able to get them. Finally, they can attack again. Reinforcing Zealots coming through, and I think Classic might barely just be able to survive.
But with all 3 of the Colossi here, it's definitely possible. I thought he would have at least taken out 1 of them. He did a lot of damage, though. Keep in mind that it's going to be pretty easy for Maru to remake this. Granted, most of what Protoss lost was the kind of tier 1 ground army, right? So that was a wild attack. Good hold there by Classic.
Yeah, that was scary with no shield battery there at the 3rd base. I thought for sure
I thought he was going to lose all of the Colossi, and then it was going to be a wash, right? Yeah. Whether Terran kills him there or in 2 minutes, it doesn't matter. The game's basically over.
Well, the gateway counts, or not the gateway unit counts and the bio count gets reset a little bit right there for both players, but Maru was able to retain, I think, pretty much all of his medevacs. So both armies should be able to scale quite well, but Classic now coming in for a drop here in the main base and a drop in the 3rd of Classics. Oh, this game is getting really crazy tasteless. There's action everywhere on the map. Widowmine drop here at the 4th. This Nexus will go down in the natural as Classic's army is committing.
The question is, how much does Maru have back at home? Can he barely hold this off? There's more that can be lost here for Classic, but I guess that's only true for expansions. If he goes for the infrastructure, it's a different story. This forces a recall back here. He picks up. He's going to fly right out of there. Now, Classic is still on 4 bases. He was actually on 5 earlier before that Nexus was killed. So, I mean, economically, we have 2 players in very different places.
Yeah, that 5th base is kind of a saving grace here.
Oh!
That's so cool, actually. Yeah. I love the way that looks. And Maru, you see on the minimap, he instantly scans to see if the 5th base is taken, and he spots that there at the 1 o'clock position. So both players taking a bit of a beating. Maru, I think, lost, what, 15, 17 SCVs during that attack. Classic lost that expansion, but things are still oddly even after all is said and done.
True.
I think Classic, with his Remax here on a soon-to-be 6-base economy, might just be able to outpace Maru. Yes, the ground army here for Maru is very impressive, but a couple of Warpins here for Classic could equalize in a hurry.
He needs the counterpunch right now. Maru's moving across the map, and Classic, this is a very smart move. It's just going to go right around him.
Yeah.
He's going to get this warp in the main.
The mineral income right now for Maru is 600 in a minute. He doesn't have the reinforcements. He has to either go for the base trade or defend back at home, and it's going to be the base trade, but Classic has so many bases on the map right now. Is he going to build enough army in time to deal with the ground force that Maru currently has?
He might have to lift off.
He has to. He's pulling all his SCVs.
This is an insane base trade. Now, supplies are very even right now, but keep in mind, well, even army-wise, I should say, there's a lot of workers, but workers aren't going to do that much here. And he's going to go into the main and go for infrastructure. Are we going to have a warp in here? He's already unpowered half the base.
Classic has been able to warp in a lot of Stalkers and Zealots during all this time. He's losing all of his production now, +3, and
the thing
armor
is,
and attack will be denied.
I think that fundamentally, the army here is weaker for Classic. You know, well, I guess the medevacs are actually almost empty.
The army is weaker for Classic, but he has all these bases. He can build a forge, he can build a cybernetics core, and he can just defend a Nexus fully saturated with cannons, with shield batteries, if it comes to that. And Maru can't mind. He's about to lose his last command center.
Yeah, he should move that thing down.
He has nothing in the corner, actually. He might just lose on structures. You can see in the top left. He has 4 barracks and a starport all flying. That's his entire base, basically.
The thing is that there's SCVs to block. The next base is they're all, you just make a beeline up through the top. You're going to kill this all off. Notice that Maru's not stimming here. He realizes he needs to bank the energy.
Oh, he didn't kill all the infrastructure. Classic's going to get back online.
Wait, he's going back. He's going back.
Okay, that's a very smart move here from Maru. Almost even catching these gateway units.
Now, every Zealot is precious. Oh, he gets away. Unbelievable.
It's a crazy series.
Oh, wait, there's no scan.
Oh, yeah, there's no scan. He has EMP, so he can't reveal the DTs, but that's the only detection that Maru has at his disposal right now. And Classic, unfortunately, he's supply blocked, so he can't actually get a warp in off of these gateways.
So there's not enough minerals to make a command center, by the way. There is enough to make a Nexus. Not that you need a Nexus right now, but just to give you guys some perspective about where we are at.
Maru cannot scale. This is what you see is what you get here with Maru.
Right.
Classic, if he could just hunker down in an expansion, you see him in the top right on the mini-map, he is building more production facilities. Again, if he can just defend with shield batteries, with cannons, defend an expansion with the army he has on the ground, he can win the game, but it seems like he's feeling pretty confident right now. I mean, he has that DT Shrine. If he warps in a good number of DTs, there might not be enough EMPs to reveal all of them.
Or you could space them out, send one DT and milk out an EMP.
How many ghosts do we have on the field? Only 3.
He's going to get another Nexus.
I think Classic's got this, Tasteless.
I think he does, but let's not call it yet. I mean, there's always a shot, right? The medevacs have a lot more energy in them now.
He can use the Warp Prism to repower these gateways, too.
Protoss is supply blocked, by the way, just now. He's got the 1 DT. Maru's not flinching. So there's 3 DTs, I believe.
5 probes working on the structures in the bottom. More probes working in.
He can't make more DTs until he loses supply.
Right.
There should be enough EMPs to get each DT.
He's going to lose all his
production. He's going to
on the right side. Okay, Classic engaging here on the bio army. Blinking for it. He's going for the Ghost. He focuses them down there with the Stalkers.
He gets 1 DT.
More DTs are warping in as well as Zealots, and I think Classic is going to take us to a game 3 here, defeating Maru. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Maru get a lot more aggressive here as opposed to the fast 3rd command center play that we've seen in Game 1 and Game 2. And a Liberator follow-up, so really harassment-focused. And the Starport, or Stargate, excuse me, here for Classic should be great about that. And man, this timing for the probe coming down is excellent for Classic. Instantly spots the drop right before it enters the main base, and Maru might not even get this pylon. We'll see. He's gonna try and commit to it. Oh, but does Classic see it? He does.
Gets 1.
Pylon does go down here in the main. Oh, he hallucinates his hit. I love that. Yeah, just disable.
That was so sick.
Oh, that was some
dude,
really
for a second, I thought it was a mistake.
No, it's good.
Yeah, and then I saw him chuck it in there. I'm like, oh, you're like so smart.
Maru, by the way, was so quick with the unburrow on the Widowmine and putting it into the medevac.
Yeah.
I actually couldn't believe how fast that was. That was insane. I thought the Widowmine was guaranteed dead.
Yeah.
After that shot.
Same over here. 3rd command center is going to finish. The Nexus is already starting.
We'll see now how he's able to deal with this. Widowmine drop coming into the natural expansion. Only 2 of them, so the Phoenix can lift both if he wants to. Uh-oh. Not the best hit. Only getting a couple of probes, but this Liberator, the main base, already paying for itself. That's a lot of damage done.
Yeah. He went in for it, and anyways, he could actually shoot down that 1 Phoenix if he really wanted to.
Yeah, he could. That'd be a gamer play right there.
Yeah, that'd be a moment like, actually, this hits air. Watch this.
Call down a Mule repair it. See it beat the other Phoenix, too.
Thermal Lance almost done. as that third expansion is going to land now. Stim has started. Maru really likes to get that stim a lot later.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot more tech heavy. 1-1-1, I think, every single game. It's a third command center here. So,
and I guess, you know, delaying the stim for the bigger attack and just getting every other upgrade can get you into a better position than trying to get stim early and run out.
Yeah, and Cyclones, even though they're not quite as good as they used to be in this current patch, they're still very strong in the early game. They are very flexible, so.
He's going to pick up.
You're going to go to the natural expansion. Oh, this could be a killer play, actually. Classic's army is about as far away as it could reasonably be.
I think he's afraid of the base at 3 o'clock, but actually he could just fly in here. Oh, wow, the tank could even hit from there? That's crazy to me.
Good to Starport, and maybe the gas, barely. But already some damage going down. He's going to go for the robotics bay, but there's a little bit of a concern here for me because this army cannot escape with the 2 Phoenix. They will eventually be able to whittle away. Oh, feedback's even coming in. Some added damage on the medevacs. Maru's just skirting disaster right now with these low HP medevacs.
Thing is, he's killing a lot of probes. Yeah, that's 70 SCVs to 48 probes.
I feel like that was worth it.
So, I mean, yeah, I'll take that any day. Could he possibly? No, he won't get this unloaded. Oh, he will. He will, Tasteless. He gets that unloaded over there. Gets another probe kill. So right now, Classic is frantically chrono boosting out more probes.
Classic was very out of position for that attack. I mean, 20 probes in total going down. That is absolutely brutal here, as 2-2 is in production here for Classic, but even on 4 Nexus, it's going to be a couple of minutes before he's able to completely equalize on that worker count. He was 20-plus workers down. Actually, he's moving to the middle of the map. I think he is underestimating Maru's army.
Yeah, bad right click over there. Not being attentive to his army.
Luckily, Maru, I don't think, was expecting Classic to be out here in the middle of the map, and so he did lose a couple of bio units there as they got shaved away from the Sentry and the Colossi. I'm really worried about him in this next engagement. Maru's force is looking very intimidating here in the center of the map.
Okay, he's going to snake down here through the middle. Scans coming down to try to figure out, okay, where exactly is the army going to be positioned? It's so important that Terran is ready to arc. Is he going to go all the way up there? Oh my god, why are we watching this? Go back, okay.
4-person entering the third base there for Maru as Vikings already get one of the Colossi down to about half HP. Zealot's getting warped into the main base here, but Vikings will be able to deal with it. That will be the last warp in from this Prism, and Maru, a little bit annoying. He is max, so he doesn't have as many units coming out of these barriers as he would like.
Yeah, he actually has to make it walk all the way back home here. So pretty annoying, man. He's going to lose a lot of SCVs. Actually, I guess not as many as I thought, only 2.
But the main thing here for Classic is this is buying him a lot of time.
Right.
He added in the Fleet Beacon, the second Stargate. I think ideally you want to maybe make, I would hope, a couple of Tempest here to try and deal with the Viking threat as Classic, but we'll see what the choice is going to be out of those Stargates. The issue right now is he just simply doesn't have the money. And so this is another move that's him just trying to buy time with all these charge outs on the left side as he expands to the bottom right. And I think Maru identifies this. He just sends a small force. He's like, I'm going to pull SCVs with this. That's a lot of Zealots, Tasteless. We'll see if that's actually enough.
So he's going to try to attack in over here. Now, right now, Maru is getting a whooping back at home, but does he have enough to possibly bust this down? We know that there's so much more sustain here for infantry. Dude, the Colossi are still doing a lot of work. They do eventually tear through. Dude, he's kept the Colossi alive for so long, but regardless, Maru just has so much here. And the problem for Classic right now is that, you know, with medevacs and stim, I mean, the damage is going to spike so hard here. I don't know if Maru can recover back at home. I would imagine he can make enough, but then again, there are so many Zealots coming out here. He's going to go right for the infrastructure. He's going to try to unpower these gateways. I think that is an Artosis pylon over there in the middle of the base.
We have more Zealots warping in here at the main base. This Classic's best bet from this position is to try and force another base raid-esque situation, but I think that Maru is going to be able to stabilize 91 army supply to 17. Classic tapping out. Maru is going to take the first series.